So one of the first things I want you to write as we move into secret number 2, I'd like you to write, please, you are not a body, you have a body. You don't need to write that as many times as you see it there, but that is to drill the point home, if you will. You are not a body, you have a body. You are not a body, you have a body. You are not a body, you have a body. And so essentially, you want to treat that brain and that body like your mini me. If you guys are familiar with the Austin Powers movie franchise, and even if you didn't see the movies, it's part of the pop culture lexicon at this point. We all know that mini-me was a miniaturized version of the greater identity, if you will. And that's exactly how you want to treat your brain and your body. That is your mini-me. That is not you. Remember, you are the one that has volition. Your body and your brain are the instrument that you are using to carry that volition out. However, the reason that we are stunted in carrying out our desires is because we think we are the thing that's carrying it out rather than the one that is giving the direction, if you will. So context, again, is very, very important. So mini-me is going to be accompanying us, if you will, as we continue our exploration here. So your body and your brain, that's your mini-me. Now we're in secret number 3. Dominion. Because your mind and your body is the mini you, if you will, this means that you, with a capital U, if you will, the one that has volition, your real identity, it has dominion over your mind and your body. Now, to appreciate this, you have to appreciate, as I said, that you have a body, you're not a body. You have a body, you're not a body. And this allows you not to be subjective to your thoughts, but to be objective with your thoughts. And if you look at what that word dominion means there, the power or right of governing and controlling. The power or right of governing and controlling. Sovereign authority. Sovereign authority. So what does that mean? Sovereign authority. So if you look below the word dominion, what sovereign means is having supreme rank, power, or authority. And so this is what you really have with that body and that brain you have. You have supreme rank, power, and authority. Again, because that is not a very conscious awareness in your awareness, this is why you find that your commitment, your follow through, your desire to change, that those things oftentimes are interfered with because you don't realize that you have a body, you're not a body. You don't realize that you actually have dominion by virtue of the setup, if you will, to your body. So when you appreciate that you have dominion over your mind and your body, that will enable you to make changes, whereas prior to having that appreciation of yourself, you're always trying to make changes from the brain itself, rather than realizing that you are the one that has the volition to make the change. And a very simple way of stating that is that you have thoughts, you are not a thought. You have thoughts, you are not your thought. Very clear example of that is that if you were your thought, then you would not know when things were amiss, when things were not as you desire them to be, because you would be the very thoughts you're having. So there would not be a independent person recognizing that things aren't going the way that I want them to go. Things aren't going the way I'd like them to go. Now, who is it that's noticing that something is not going the way you want it to go? Well, that's the you that has volition. So clearly you have thoughts, but you're not your thoughts. Again, very subtle but very powerful, because that allows you to not take your thoughts personally. How counterintuitive does that sound? But it is so profoundly true. You do not have to take your thoughts personally. And unfortunately, we take our thoughts personally, and that's the reason we go down the rabbit hole of blame and judgment and fear and anxiety and resentment and all of that, because we've taken everything that the mind has absorbed and we take it personally, because we forget that we have a body, we're not the body. We have a brain, we're not the brain. And so it's very important as we continue to move into dissolving resistance that you understand the setup, that you have the context with which to do this. And the reason that I'm spending this kind of time on the context here, if you will, is because I want this information that you're absorbing this evening, I want it to be transformative and not just informative. Desire it to be transformative and not just informative. If you think you are your brain, then you're just absorbing information. If you realize that you have a brain, then that means this information, you can use your volition with which to activate it. Big, big, big difference.